Here's a short story. I heard the story from Rabbi Yossi Paltiel, which I advise everyone to look for his classes he gives on videos. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer, but they're all excellent. And he's an excellent speaker. He's got years and years of Rabbi Yossi Paltiel. Anyway, so he told a good story. And this is the story. I don't think I've got the beginning of the story accurate. So I'm going to tell from what I think I remember being accurate. And the story goes like this. The story was told by the man that it happened to, to someone. This someone was a young boy, and he had, I guess, survived the Holocaust, and he used to go to see his uncle something in New York that worked in the diamond district. He used to cut diamonds. One day his uncle told him, see that man sitting over there, go and talk to him, ask him, he's got a story about the Lubavitcher Rebbe. That man was a Satmar Chassid. So his uncle said to this fellow that's telling the story, when this fellow was just a young boy, said, go and talk to that person. He's got a story about the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Because he became a Chassid of Chabad. So he says, go and talk to the man over there sitting over there. He's not Chabad. He's a Satmar Chassid. Tell him. So he went and he didn't want to tell him the story. And finally he told him the story. What was the story? The story is that this Satmar Chassid, he must have been a person, 60, 70. This was after the war. He said, there was one time when I was a young man, I had a wife and children, and suddenly came into my mind, I don't know where, to just leave Judaism. Just leave Judaism. Whatever the reasons were, there's enough reasons in the world. And he had a wife and left his wife and family. He left his wife and family, and he just ran away. He went to France. Maybe he met a girl there, maybe who knows what happened. But nevertheless, he left and he moved to Paris. This is like right before the war broke out. He moved to Paris and he rented an apartment over there, whatever it is, and he was just sort of settling in. And one day, a knock on his door, and he opened up the door, and there was standing a young religious guy with a little beard. And he said, can I come in? Sure, come in. He said, I want you to put on tefillin. And he said, I said to him, and I want you to leave. I'm not putting on tefillin. I've done it before. I know what it is. It's nothing. I said, no, I'm not going to leave until you put on tefillin. I said, yeah, get out of my house. I said, listen, it's going to be easier for you to get rid of me by putting on tefillin than trying to force me out. So he tried to ignore him for a while, and it didn't work. And so, he said to leave a few times, and he realized that he didn't want to fight with him, and who knows, maybe the other person could beat him up. Who knows what? So he said, okay. So he put on tefillin. Okay, I put on tefillin. He said, that's it. He just didn't say anything. He left. Next day, knock on the door again. Comes to the door. It says me again. Comes and puts his foot in the door. I'm not leaving till you put on tefillin. And that's what it went on for 2 weeks. Put on tefillin every day. Until finally, after the 2 weeks, he decided that maybe he made a mistake to leave his family, and he went back. That's what this older diamond cutter told the boy. Said, hey, boy. He said, after a while, I came back to my family. I made up some excuse. He said, after a while, I found out that who was that young man? That young man was the Lubavitcher Rebbe when he was in France. The Lubavitcher Rebbe was in France right at the outbreak of the war. I mean, he was there actually, I guess, for a year or two. But in that time, he was there. So it seems that in that time, and there was another story that I told you about a Papa Chassid, that in that time, it seems that the Rebbe put tefillin on people. He went on. Now, how the Rebbe knew who this person was and how the Rebbe knew where he was, I'm sure that nobody called him up and told him and sent him. Basically, nobody knew who the Rebbe was in those days. Somehow or other, the Rebbe sensed that this person was, and he found out where he lived, and he went and he put tefillin on him, and that's what kept the person. So it was important enough for him to do it. That's what we're saying. One good deed can change the whole entire world. Have an easy fast or have no fast at all with Mashiach now. God willing, we'll see each other next week on Sunday, 8:15 in the morning. Thank you very much. God bless you all with Mashiach now. Shalom.
Thank you. Have a good Shabbos.
You too. Shalom.